Ujantam Ramarameti Maduram Maduraksharam Aruhya Kavita Shakam Vande Valmiki Kokilam Apadamapahattaram Dhataram Sarvasampadam Lokabhiramam Shriramam Bhuyo Bhuyo Namamyaham. Holding on to anger is like grasping a piece of charcoal with the intent of throwing it at someone else. You are the one who will be scorched and burned. This is what was happening to Ravana. The causes of anger rarely hurt as much as the consequences of anger. What is terrible is not the anger itself, but the thoughtless actions impelled by anger. Ravana, seething with anger, shocked because of the unexpected advice given by Vibishana, walked out of the assembly hall without speaking a word. His ministers were more shocked. Never did they experience this kind of a situation. Ravana walked out of his darbar without speaking a word. And all the ministers followed. Ravana, seething in anger, goes to his private chambers. The night was full of questions for Ravana. He was unable to sleep, but he had no answers. And then, early next morning, Vibhishana once again takes the opportunity to go back to Ravana. Vibhishana did not want to give up. Tataha pratyushasi prapte prapta dharmartha nishchayaha rakshasadi pater vashma bhima karma Vibhishanaha. Seems Vibhishana was not waiting for the next day's darbar. He decided to go into Ravana's inner chambers, knowing fully well that Ravana would be wide awake, because Vibhishana knew that Ravana couldn't have slept. So Valmiki says, Rakshasadi pater vashma bhima karma Vibhishanaha. Bhima karma. Bhima can mean either terrific or terrible. It can mean awful or awesome. That's the interesting part of the word Bhima. So what Vibhishana is going to do may be terrible to Ravana, but Valmiki says is a terrific act. It could be awful to Ravana, but what he does is awesome. So this is how the word Bhima Karma can be understood. So Vibhishana enters Ravana's inner chambers. Tamaha Brahma Vidaditya Stejo Vistrutarashminam Agrajasyalayam Viraha Kavivesha Mahadyutihi. Valmiki says, while Ravana's inner chambers were all immersed in darkness, like the sun with the rays that outstretches splendor everywhere, it seems Vibhishana enters. Vibhishana, with great radiance, as he goes inside Ravana's inner chambers, hears Vedic chants. There are prayers going on for Ravana's well-being, wishing victory for Ravana. A lot of pujas were going on, and Vibhishana knew that everyone was worried and they were all preparing for the eventual. So therefore, Vibhishana approaches Ravana in his inner chambers. Prasadhya bhrataram jeshtam santweno pastita kramaha deshakalatta sambadi drishta loka paravaha. Drishta loka paravaha. Valmiki says, Vibhishana is one who could discriminate between what is right and what is wrong, what is good and what is evil in the world. Such a Vibhishana, He now once again continues. Vibhishana has not given up. Ravana walked out yesterday without even acknowledging what he said. But Vibhishana still has not given up. He seeks favor from his brother so that he can listen to him. And he once again looks at Ravana and says, hey Ravana, yada prabriti vaidehi samprapteha parantapa tada prabriti drishyante nimittanya ashubhaniya. Ravana, you must know this. I am only seeing inauspicious omens, inauspicious signs everywhere. All the signs that I see are not good at all. The nimitta, the omens are all very inauspicious. You must be aware. The signs are not good at all. They are foretelling disaster. You should notice all the sacrifices, yajnas that are going on. The fire is not flaring up at all. Our oblations are being, as ghee is being poured, normally fire should flare up, but only smoke is coming. This is not a good sign, Vibhishana. And also in the sacrificial ground, I see serpents moving everywhere. This is not good sign at all. I also see in the oblations that are being offered, oblations are being filled with ants. Not a good sign, Ravana. I see cow's milk getting curdled, which is not a good sign at all. I see elephants running amok everywhere. I see horses neighing wildly. I see donkeys, mules shedding tears and losing their hair, which is not a good sign at all, here, Ravana. I see flocks of crows getting together and crying cruelly. And this is a very, very bad sign, here, Ravana. Vultures are flying above, waiting for the prey. Again, this foretells disaster. I also see right outside our city gates, I see all kinds of carnivorous animals have already gathered, waiting for dead bodies to be prepared. So therefore, I see inauspiciousness everywhere. Tadevam prastute karte prayaschittamidam kshamam rochaye veera vaidehi raghavaya pradhiyatam. Let Sita, let Vaidehi be returned, here, Ravana. Take note of what is happening around, look around, and notice that everything, for all these signs foretell disaster. Prapane chasya mantrasya nivrittaha sarvamantrinaha avashyam cha maya vachyam yadrishtam athava shrutam samvidhaya yathanyayam tadbhavan kartumarhati. Let me also tell you something. Not only I, everybody here, all your ministers, all the Rakshasa warriors are seeing the same signs. The only difference is they are not speaking up and I'm speaking up. They are not warning you, but I am warning you. They are not doing their duty, I am doing my duty. So therefore, please listen to what I have to tell you. Hitam mahartam mrudu hetu samhitam yatita kalayati sampratikshamam nishamya tadvakyam mapustitadvaraha prasangavan uttaram yetat abravit. Vibhishana spoke very softly. He spoke what is beneficial. He spoke what is right. His advice was appropriate, but to Ravana, it did not sound the same. To Ravana was actually his anger grew manifold, and he immediately looked at Vibhishana, and finally Ravana speaks. Since the day before, Ravana did not speak. Now Ravana speaks up and he says, Bhayam na pashyapi kritaschidabhyaham naragavaha prapsyati jatu maithilim suraihi sahendrarapi samgare katham mamagrataha stasyati lakshmanagrajaha. Vibhishana, I do not see any fear. What are you talking about? Rama will not get Sita back. And who is this Rama and Lakshmana? I am the one who conquered Indra. Who are they? And he looks at Vibhishana, dismisses him, and just walks out of his chambers. Vibhishana is there sitting. He walks out as if Vibhishana does not exist at all. And he not only walks out of his inner chambers, he straightaway goes out and gets on to his chariot. And he starts moving towards his darbar, his assembly hall, all of a sudden, early in the morning. Nobody expected this. Now Ravana is marching towards his assembly hall. Immediately, all the soldiers gather around. Elephants, horses, all the warriors with all their weapons are marching. Suddenly, it looks like a massive celebration is happening. Now, all the soldiers now know that Ravana is going to take some decision. They're all thrilled and they know something big is going to happen, and everybody is rushing along with Ravana. A procession is going on the streets of Lanka towards the assembly hall, as though Ravana is going to achieve something great. This is the foolishness of all the Rakshasas. So Ravana, with all the pomp, there is music, there are beats of drums. As everybody is inviting Ravana to his assembly hall, he enters the assembly hall and immediately he looks at his messengers and he thunders. Tataha Shashaseshwara Vaddatan Laguparakraman Samanayatne Chipramiham Aitan Rakshasaniti Kritaspiti Mahajane Kartavyamiti Shatrubihi. He looks at his messengers and says, "Go, I command, go quickly. You have a duty. You have a duty to perform. Go and bring all the warriors, bring all my ministers, inform them that they should be present here immediately." As soon as Ravana thunders this command, the messengers start running everywhere, every nook and corner of Lanka. All of a sudden, there is traffic jam on the streets of Lanka because everybody is rushing and going and waking up all the ministers early in the morning. Normally, assembly does not happen early. Now, Ravana has commanded that everybody comes to the assembly hall, to his darbar. So all the warriors are being waken up and all the ministers are asked to rush immediately. And then all of a sudden, horses, chariots, all the warriors are running on the streets of Lanka, rushing towards the assembly hall. And everybody rushes in and takes their seat. Never before it happened. The custom was everybody assembles and then Ravana walks in. For a change now, Ravana is already seated in the assembly hall, is waiting. And they do not want Ravana to wait. So everybody running, rushing, and then coming inside and taking their chairs. Uninvited, Vibishana also comes in. Tato Mahatma Vipulam Suyugyam Ratham Varam Hema Vichitritangam. Vibishana was left in the inner chambers of Ravana. And Ravana just walked out. Vibishana for a while did not understand what was going on. He did not expect that Ravana will rush to the darbar. And then he also follows. He gets onto his chariot and he also enters. As all the ministers of Ravana enter, Vibishana uninvited enters. Nobody takes notice of Vibishana. Ravana doesn't even look at him. He is an uninvited, unwanted guest now. But still Vibishana enters. And in that assembly, then Ravana looks at Prahasta. And then he says, everybody is waiting for Ravana to speak. They haven't heard him speak for a long time. It looked as though it was a long time. It was just the day before, few hours before. Senapate yatate syuhu krita vidyascha turvidaha yodha nagara rakshayam tatha yadeshtu marhasi. Looks at Prahasta, who is the leader of the army. And he says, "Hey Prahasta, get all our 4 divisions of the army ready. Get ready to defend Lanka." This is what all the Rakshasas are waiting, which means Ravana is now giving a clarion call for war. Ravana is saying, we are ready. We are ready for war. Prepare for defending Lanka. Do not let the enemy enter Lanka. We are now at war. The Rakshasas start roaring. Now there is a lot of anxious roar in the hall. Aham tu khalu sarvan vaha samatta yutumadyataha kumabhakarnasya tu swapnannema matartam chodayam. Now Ravana is introducing somebody. Now, for the first time, not only Ravana, all of us get introduced to a very important character. Kumbhakaranasya tu swapnannema martam cha chodayam. Ravana says, I have woken up now, Kumbhakarna. Hey, Kumbhakarna, join us. And Kumbhakarna now joins the darbar. The massive mountain like Kumbhakarna enters and takes his seat, a specially made seat for him. Ravana says, and everybody now knows, they are convinced they are at war. Because now Kumbhakarna, who was sleeping for the last 6 months, is finally awake, which means Ravana is ready for war. Ravana looks at everybody and says, and now looks at Kumbhakarna. For the benefit of Kumbhakarna, let me recount what has happened. He was sleeping for 6 months, and in the 6 months, lot has happened. And I have brought Sita here, and he has been sleeping for more than 6 months, and I have captured her. She is in Ashokavatika, and now I am forcing her to accept me. And this has not yet happened. Sadhu samvatsaram kalam mamaya chadbhamini pratikshamana bhartaram rama mayatalochana. Ravana is lying to Kumbhakarna. Sita asked for 1 year samvatsara. Sita has never asked for time for 1 year. So I've given her the time, and I've been waiting. But now the army of Rama has along with the Vanaras, have already gathered. They are there on the shore outside of the gates of Lanka. It is now time for us to attack them, not let them in. Hey, Kumbhakarna, what do you think? Kumbhakarna is just come out of sleep, and this is not what he expected. He looks at Ravana. Hey, Ravana, what needs to be done first, you have done it last. And what needs to be done last, you have done it first, he said. This is the first words Kumbhakarna speaks. Ravana is also shocked. Kumbhakarna says here, Ravana, Sarvavetan Maharaja Kritam Apratimam Tava Vidhiyate Sahasmabhi Adaveyasya Karmanaha. Hey, Raja, all these acts of consultation that you're doing now, you're asking me what to do. You should have done this before abducting Sita. Before bringing her, you should have asked everybody, you should have woken me up, and you should have asked for you should have consulted then. What is the point in consulting now? It is not worthy of you. Nyayena rajakaryani yakkaroti dashadana nasa samtapyate paschannischartha patirnripaha. In Nripaha, O king, one who performs the functions of a king with a mind which is ascertained by justice will not repent thereafter. The fact that now you are repenting, which means you have done an unjust act. However, do not worry. Tasmat tvaya samarabdham karma hya pratimam paraihi aham samikarishyami atva shatrum sthananakha. For a moment, Ravana was taken aback. What happened to Kumbhakarna? I hope this Vibishana has not poisoned him. But Kumbhakarna says, what you have done is not right. However, you are my brother. And Kumbhakarna also uses a word, Anagha, you are blameless, you are faultless, he says. Which means Kumbhakarna, who is immersed in tamas, his knowledge is also perverted. He knows what Ravana has done is wrong, but still, because of his attachment to Ravana, he says, after all, you are not at fault here, Ravana. Don't worry. I will take care of the Shatrus. And I will go and I will attack Rama and Lakshmana, and I will vanquish them. Ramasvakamam piba chagre varunim kurushvakarvani hitani vichvaraha mayatu rame gamite yamakshayam chiraya sita vashaga bhavishyati. He, Ravana, do not worry. Enjoy, have some drinks. Piba chagre varuni. Continue to enjoy. And while you are enjoying, I will take care. I will go and like Yama, I will destroy Rama and his entire army. Sita shall be yours forever. I am assuring you that. What else can an embodiment of Tamoguna say? This is what Kumbhakarna says. And the Rakshasas are even more thrilled. Suddenly, Mahaparshva, one of the warriors, one of the ministers, has a brilliant idea. He stands up and says, Ravana, why go through all this? You are so powerful. You can force yourself on Sita. Why you have not done that till now? Why should you wait? Why are you giving respect to her and giving her time? Then Ravana reveals something which none of them have heard before. Ravana says, I could have done that, but unfortunately, I was cursed by Brahma. I cannot force myself on any woman without her consent. If I do so, my head will split into 100 parts. This was the curse given by Brahma, and unfortunately, because of that curse, I cannot force myself. I cannot force her to marry me. So therefore, I am waiting. And therefore, now as Ravana, and then he says, but do not worry. Now we are all prepared. Kumbhakarna is here. Now we can easily go and vanquish Rama and Lakshmana. Idam purasyasya tarakshasasya rajyascha patyam susuhya ajajanasya samyak divakyam swamatam prabhimi narendra putraya dadatu maithilim. And then prahas dadatu maithilim. I am telling the right and wholesome words as per my opinion. Vibishana says, whatever Kumbhakarna said, let it not get to your head. Let me tell you, let Sita should be. Vibishana is still not giving up. Let Sita be given. Kumbhakarna can say whatever he says, but that is not the right thing to do. Parasya viryam swabalam cha buddhva sthanam kshayam chaiva tathaiva vruddhim tatasvapakshe ganumrushya buddhayaha vadakshamam swamihitam samantrihi. A right counselor is one who should highlight the strengths of the enemy and our own weaknesses. This is what I am doing. It looks like nobody is ready to listen to me. Ravana, at least you should listen. You should listen. And then Indrajit immediately stands up. Uncle, stop this nonsense. What are you doing? What kind of talk is this? You may be intelligent. You may think you are intelligent, but your words have no meaning in the present context. Here, might alone speaks, not wisdom. So shut up, Vibhishana says. Indrajit says. Vibhishana does not like Indrajit, after all, is a young prince and he cannot speak words like that. And immediately, Vibhishana looks at Indrajit and says, Natata mantre tavanischayostihi palastvamadhyapi vipakrubuddhihi tasmat vayapyatva vinashayaha vachor hinam bahu vipralaptam avipakva buddhihi. You are someone with immature mind, Indrajit. You cannot speak like that. You better not speak like that. Just don't keep prattling like this because you do not know. You are talking words of self-destruction. Putra pravadena tu ravanasya tvamindrajit mintra mukhosmi shatruhu. You may be son of Ravana, but it looks like you are his enemy because what you are doing is not right for your father. Tvameva vadyascha sudurmatishaha sachapi vadyoya yehanayatvam. You are fit to be killed, hey Indrajit. By speaking like this, you are fit to be killed. Now, Vibhishana says something that nobody expected him to speak. Ravana's son is now being spoken at by Indrajit. Balam dridam sahasikam chayodhya praveshan mantrakrutam samipam. You are evil-minded. You are speaking in this manner because you are immature. You are not properly counseled. You do not know what is right, what is wrong. If you speak like this, Ravana, your father, will be influenced. Therefore, do not speak like this. For speaking like this, for putting Ravana in danger and Lanka in danger, you are fit to be killed. And then he looks at Ravana once again. A final appeal that Vibhishana makes to Ravana. Dhanani ratnani subhushanani papampi divyani maninscha chitran sitam cha ramaya nivedya devim vasema rajanniha vitashokaha. Vasema rajanniha vitashokaha. Hey Rajan, the only way to avoid sorrow, the only way to get out of this problem that has enveloped us is to return Sita. Not just return Sita. Dhanani ratnani subhushanani vapampi divyani manimsta chitran. Let all wealth, all kinds of gold, ornaments, everything put together along with Sita be returned, because after all, she is the queen of Ayodhya. She has to be treated like the queen of Ayodhya, and with all respect, let Sita be returned to Rama. That's enough. Vibhishana, Ravana is now seething in anger. The fact that Vibhishana spoke against Indrajit is the final nail in coffin for Vibhishana. How can somebody speak against his own son and also say that he is fit to be killed? That's enough. I will hear no more. Ravana was trembling with anger. Vaset saha sapatnena kriddena ashi vishena cha natu mitra pravadena samvatset shatruna saha. He looks at Ravana, Ravana looks at Vibhishana and with contempt, he looks down upon and says, how can anybody live with a snake? Vibhishana, you are like a snake. I cannot tolerate you anymore. So with great contempt, he looks at Vibhishana and says, I thought you are a well-wisher. You turn out to be a snake and I cannot tolerate you anymore. You know what? And he looks at everybody. Now I understand. This Vibhishana is unable to accept that all of you respect me. All of you speak highly of me. All of the whole world is venerating me. This Vibhishana cannot tolerate this. Hey Vibhishana, I know now you are jealous of me. I know my super success is like salt on your sore wounds. You cannot tolerate my success anymore. That is the reason why you are speaking up like this. Yonyastveta amidham bhuyad vakyameta nishachara asmin muhurtena bhavet tvam tu dhik kulapamsanam. Almost he was spitting at Vibhishana, saying, you are a curse to my kula. You are not fit to be here with me anymore. You are someone I cannot stand anymore. And if because you happen to be my brother, you escaped death penalty. And when Ravana said this, Hatiyukta Parusham Vakyam Jnanyavadi Vibhishanaha Utpapata Gadapanihi Chaturbihi Saharakshasai Itiyuktaha Parusham Vakyam. Such harsh words from Ravana to Vibhishana. Nyayava, Valmiki qualifies a beautiful, gives an adjective. Nyayavadi Vibhishanaha Utpapata Gadapanihi Chaturbihi Saharakshasai. Immediately, that was the triggering point. Valmiki says, Vibhishana, the Nyayavadi, holding the mace in his hand, hearing those harsh words of Ravana, soared high into the sky. When Vibhishana soared high into the sky, it seems 4 of his loyalists also followed suit. Immediately, Vibhishana looks at Ravana and says, the time has come, Ravana, to part ways. And Vibhishana says, goodbye, Ravana. I think the time has come for me to part ways with you and with Lanka. And Vibhishana says some final words. But let us pause here to listen to because what Vibhishana speaks to Ravana, the final advice, is so very important. Vibhishana, parting ways with Ravana, gives him final words of advice, and then he moves on in the direction of where Rama has been waiting for him. He knows Rama is waiting for him. What happens next is the most important segment in Ramayana, the segment of Vibhishana Sharanagati. Until then, let us contemplate on Vibhishana's courage. Let us contemplate on Vibhishana's faith. Because his faith that Rama is waiting for him. Rama has not told he is waiting for him. And we will see that this is the faith which is the important prerequisite for Sharanagati. We will relish this in our session dedicated for Vibhishana's Sharanagati to Bhagavan Sri Ramachandra. Until then, Sarvam Sri Krishna.